Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I'm back with a review/thought video. And for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at Furiosa, if I'm saying the name correctly, a Mad Max Saga, a prequel to the Mad Max Fury Road that I believe it was released back in 2015. I just came back from the theaters watching it. I would have watched it 2 weeks ago, but well, one thing came up with finance, and the other week, let's just say I wasn't feeling that great. So this was probably the one opportunity I was going to get to see this movie, but I did. I just came back from theaters to watch it. And for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Mad Max Saga, Furiosa Mad Max Saga is rated R, ages 17 and up here in the USA. And if there's any part of this video you wish to skip to, timestamps will be in the description down below of this video, though. Now, I've heard of the Mad Max series for quite some time, so I may have basically seen clips here and there every now and then, but I never really watched the original. I believe it was in the 80s, the one starring Mel Gibson and all. The one where I fully sat down to watch was 2015's Mad Max Fury Road, where I believe Tom Hardy basically played the role of Mad Max, and of course there was the Mad Max video game done by Aulx that was released, I believe, on the PS3, 360, PS4, and Xbox One, which wasn't a bad game for a licensed game and everything like that. So it was kind of interesting to see here that they were going to be doing basically a prequel to it, starring Furiosa, who played sort of a main part in Mad Max's Fury Road and everything like that. And I will admit, I was first wondering why Anya Taylor-Joy was going to play Furiosa, considering that the role was played by someone else in Fury Road and everything like that. But after coming back from seeing the movie itself, I will say I do enjoy the movie, especially if you're a Mad Max fan and everything like that. But I will admit there are certain things I don't exactly 100% agree with in terms of what they did with this movie and all. So I'll break it down into what I like, what I didn't like, mixed, not 100% sure about. In terms of what I like, though, I will say the action and the stunt sequence in the movie are great. I enjoyed how they did those stunts and sequences in Mad Max Fury Road, and Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, doesn't disappoint, ranging from seeing a young Furiosa hang under a bottom of like a tanker and everything like that, to some of the shootouts and battles that are going on during when the tanker is like moving and everything like that, seeing the war dogs basically, fight different enemies here and there and all. So the actions and stunt sequence in the movie are really, really good, and props to director George Miller for, how this is all done and everything. So that's probably one of the highlights of this movie. It's the same thing with Mad Max Fury Road, and it's the same thing with Furiosa and all. The next thing I do want to talk about is, of course, the story, and I will say the story wasn't that bad in this movie. It may not have been on the same scale as Mad Max or anything like that, but the universe and the lore for Mad Max is still interesting, taking place in a world that's pretty much gone, let's say, straight to hell, ranging from resources, oil, water, everything like that and all. So it was certainly, the lore still is interesting even after all these years and all that stuff, and it still is interesting today, though. So I also don't mind the idea of learning a bit more of some of the characters and all, and basically I think Furiosa was an interesting character and everything. So I'm glad that they were able to do what is considered to be a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, but still, the lore and the story is still enjoyable in this film. And last but not least, I will say that I do think Anya Taylor-Joy, if I'm saying her name correctly, I think did a good job playing a young Furiosa, though. She definitely really I thought it was really neat how she portrayed the character and all. Basically, she did have some lines here and there, but most of the time she is quiet and everything like that, and I think she did like a really good job playing that character and all. So I thought that was very impressive in how she was able to portray Furiosa and all. As far as what I didn't like or mix or not sure about, this has to do with, Anya Taylor-Joy playing Furiosa. While I definitely had no problems with the character, and I thought, as I mentioned in what I liked, I thought she did a good job with that character, I also find it a bit odd that she didn't really have a huge amount of speaking lines, and then I think for the most part she just remained quiet or didn't say a whole lot of lines and all, which was sort of, to my view, was sort of odd compared to Chris Hemsworth's character, Dementus, if I'm saying his name correctly and everything like that. It almost felt like he was more of the star of the movie to a certain extent, and everything like that. But I mean, again, that doesn't ruin the film. It just was sort of odd that she didn't have a whole lot of speaking lines. The other thing that I did feel like they kind of missed with this movie was you don't really know what exactly happened to Furiosa's home and everything like that. You see where she originally comes from in the movie and all, but then it's basically just forgotten after a while. So you don't really know what happened to her home or anything like that. And that, I do believe, is a little bit unfortunate to be exact, because I would have liked to see, her come home and everything like that, and then discover like what may have happened to it and all. So I do think that was a bit unfortunate they didn't show that in this movie and all. And last but not least, I do want to talk about Chris Hemsworth's character, Dementus. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name and everything like that. And while I do think the character is an interesting villain, I thought Chris Hemsworth did a good job, personally, I don't think the villain is as good as, say, Immortan Joe was, basically, in Mad Max Fury Road. I thought he was a good villain and everything like that. And this one, again, not bad, but just not to the same level as Immortan Joe and all. So I just didn't think the villain was bad, but I just didn't think he was as interesting as I would have liked it to be. Overall, I would say I still came away pleased with what I saw with Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, and I don't mind them doing, though, like prequel or stories that take place within the Mad Max lore and everything like that. At its best, though, the action and stunt sequence in the movie are still good. Hats off to director George Miller and everything like that. The world, the lore, and the universe of Mad Max is still very interesting even after all these years. And I will give credit to Anya Taylor-Joy, who I thought did a good job playing Furiosa. But at its worst, at the same time, I will admit that I am a little disappointed we didn't get to hear a lot of speaking lines from her and everything like that. I do think there was a missed opportunity, at least based on my time seeing the movie, that they didn't really explain what happened to her original home and everything like that. And as I said, I think Chris Hemsworth did a good job playing the villain, Dementus. Again, I apologize, I'm butchering that name. I thought he did a good job with that villain, but again, I don't think, to me at least, he's not as interesting or as good as, say, Immortan Joe was in Mad Max Fury Road. But in either case, I still came away pleased with this movie. I would love to see a next entry in the Mad Max series if that happens, although from what I understand, it didn't do well during Memorial Day at the box office or something like that. So time will tell if another entry in the Mad Max series will happen or not. I personally would like to see another entry, but who knows based off the box office numbers. But in either case, if you enjoy the Mad Max series, or if you enjoy 2015's Mad Max Fury Road, then you probably will enjoy Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga and all. Okay, this concludes my video or my review / thought on Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga? Did you see the movie by any chance? Do you like the idea of a prequel taking place, before the events of Mad Max Fury Road? Do you think Anya Taylor-Joy did a good job playing Furiosa and all? Did you think Chris Hemsworth's character was a good villain, or do you think Immortan Joe was more of a better villain and all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!